1987. A quiet Sunday evening in Melbourne, Australia, turned into a nightmare. The streets of Clifton Hill, a peaceful suburb, were shattered by the sound of gunfire. 7 lives lost, 19 others wounded, and a city forever scarred by what would become known as the Hoddle Street Massacre. Tonight we take you through the horrifying events of that night, what led to the carnage, who the shooter was, and how one of the deadliest mass shootings in Australian history unfolded. To understand what happened that night, we first need to look at the man behind the trigger, Julian Knight. Born in 1968, Knight was a 19-year-old former Australian Army officer cadet. A troubled young man with dreams of a military career, he had recently been discharged from the Royal Military College, Duntroon. Some say he struggled with authority. Others say he was simply unstable. But one thing is certain, he was heavily armed and ready to kill. Knight had grown up obsessed with the military, war, and weapons. He was intelligent, but his time at Duntroon was marked by disciplinary issues. After a bar fight led to his expulsion, Knight returned to Melbourne jobless, angry, and on edge. On the night of August 9th, he would channel all that rage into an act of unspeakable violence. Just before 9:30 p.m., Julian Knight positioned himself near a section of Hoddle Street, armed with a semi-automatic rifle, a shotgun, and a .22 caliber rifle. The first shot rang out, then another, and another. Knight began targeting passing cars. Drivers, unaware of what was happening, were caught completely off guard. Some crashed, others were gunned down as they tried to flee. It didn't take long for the police to arrive, but they were immediately met with heavy fire. Knight, using his military training, moved between cover, firing with precision.
And I stood up and let off what was left in the magazine. I can't remember exactly, but I think it was here that I first propped.
What did you do here?
I think this is where I started shooting.
Right. And were you standing or...
Kneeling.
Kneeling? In which direction were you shooting?
In that direction.
Where were you shooting at?
The passing cars. The first one fell onto the road, and then the second one, I don't know where he came from, but I dropped him as well.
Right. Now, did they appear to be dead when you...
The one that fell back on the road wasn't.
What happened then?
I let off another 2 rounds.
For what purpose?
Finish her off.
Here anywhere?
I propped there.
Whereabouts?
Kneeling at the edge of where the bushes start here.
Yeah. And what did you do there?
For more than 30 minutes, police chased Knight through the darkened streets of Melbourne. He moved quickly, using the night as cover. But the authorities were determined. They needed to stop him before he could kill again. In Fitzroy North, not far from where the massacre began, officers finally cornered him. Knight, perhaps realizing he had no escape, surrendered without a fight. The horror of that night left Melbourne in shock. 7 innocent lives lost, 19 others wounded, families shattered, a community forever changed. Knight was charged with 7 counts of murder and multiple counts of attempted murder. During his trial, he showed little emotion. When the verdict was delivered, 7 life sentences with a minimum of 27 years, he barely reacted.
Why did you suddenly decide to kill these people?
I don't know. I don't know, maybe it was just one big fantasy.
The sentence was harsh, but some argued it wasn't enough. Because of his age, just 19 at the time, he was classified as a young adult offender under Victorian law. This meant he was eligible for parole after 27 years. Many feared he could one day walk free. The Hoddle Street Massacre led to significant changes in Australian gun laws and police response tactics. It was a wake-up call, a grim reminder of how one individual's rage could tear a community apart in minutes. As for Julian Knight, he remains behind bars. Multiple parole attempts have been denied, and public outcry ensures he is unlikely to ever be released. Soft piano music, slow and haunting. For the families of the victims, time has not erased the pain. Every year, they remember the loved ones lost. A tragedy like this never truly fades. It lingers, etched in the memory of those who survived and those who were left behind. That was the story of the Hoddle Street Massacre. A night of terror, a city forever changed, and a name that still haunts Australian history. If you found this story compelling, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more true crime stories.